Thanks for joining us here on Top World Disc Golf for the Mesmerize coverage at Kelley Park. Here's your scores after 9 holes. Jacob Blair and Isaiah Oliver off to solid starts with -5 and -4. And we also have Nick Pantages and Devin Rowell hanging on the card as well.
Speaking of Devin, there he is right there. It was a fun front 9. We got 12 more holes to go here in the back half, or back slightly more than half of this 21-hole round, as the ground squirrels watch.
Yep, grab a snack, settle in. Let's watch some disc golf on Top World Disc Golf.
Jacob Blair agrees.
Starting off part 2, hole 10, 311-foot par 3. Got to navigate these old trees or just go over the top.
Going over the top seems to be a viable option on a lot of holes out here.
Absolutely. If you got the arm, test out the air up top.
Devin doesn't only have the arm, he has both arms. As we saw in the front 9, switching it up between lefty and righty backhand off the tee pretty much 50% of the time. Impressive stuff.
Yeah, proficient in both. Jacob Blair opting for the righty sidearm, Halo Star Destroyer. I think he wanted a little bit more flex on it than that. Yeah, it's going to finish in the messy part of the fairway.
We couldn't see it there, but it did trickle out. But I assume if it had stuck, that 2 meters is in effect at this event, right?
I'm not positive on that. I think it is in play.
Usually is in California, but either way, it's not relevant because his disc did trickle out of the trees there.
Yeah, and a good shot from Isaiah Oliver. He'll be in circle 1 for birdie.
Nick Pantages up last. Nice low straight shot. Oh, that's gorgeous. That hits one of the last trees, but it was a pretty looking flight. I liked it. Still putting for birdie. I'm surprised that he's out. This Jacob must be closer than I thought. Great putt. Way to start the back 12.
Yeah, good birdie. Love that line up the gut. Yeah, they're kind of still looking for Jacob, and he's right in the middle of this bush. It's a bunch of olive tree and oak tree and poison oak.
I'm coming out here. I'm going to try to throw a little roller.
Yeah, that looks terrible. That is some rough.
Nope, didn't go
No options besides a forehand roller, and he only advances not even 5 feet closer to the basket.
Brutal. Let's see if he has any better options from here. Looks like he's trying the same thing again, and it skids out on the leaves and doesn't roll like he wanted, but he still has a putt now to save the bogey. Devin also in there. Perhaps not quite as bad as Jacob's lie, but still pretty bad. Well, it looks like he's still going to go for it. Yeah, too much stuff in the way. At least he was able to get out of there in one shot.
Hopefully he gets out of there without getting poison oak.
Yep, that's no fun, let me tell you, as someone who grew up in SoCal. Woo! No pictures on the scorecards.
Yeah, just barely over the rim. Thank you, basket.
Yep. Appropriate reaction to a putt like that.
So this is the 4th shot for Jacob.
Good bogey save. But with that, Isaiah gets 2 strokes on him. Takes the lead on our feature card here. And Devin with the par.
On to hole 11, one of the shorter holes on this layout, 237 feet. Flying over the short basket right now. The players are playing to the long, so it's just past this grouping of small trees. pretty much whatever you want to do. Lefty backhand, lefty forehand, righty backhand, or the grenade.
I was going to say, yeah, it looks like a grenade grip here. Index finger in. Kevin Jones style. Great shot. I mean, this is one where at the pro level, a par feels like a bogey. Let's see the average on this one here. Yeah, 2.32 average. Almost plays like a par 2.
It's like Nick's throwing a putter.
Oh, gotta go. Right over it.
It's right over the top of it. Putting for birdie.
Over the basket.
Yeah, a little ace run.
Devin going lefty again.
A little wide and a little short.
He's got some work left on this par 2.5. Can pretty much count on when Devin goes lefty backhand, Jacob's going to go flick Spikeiser. And
Yeah.
they end up right next to each other.
Yep.
Ah. Just wide for Devin. Nick at about circle's edge here. A little right side. Not what our feature card is looking for. I bet Jacob's good for this, though. Or not.
Wind's picking up a little bit.
Yeah, I heard it pick up right before he putted. All right, can we get a single birdie on this easiest hole on the course from our feature card? We can. And all of a sudden, after Jacob was leading the way on the front 9, Isaiah now has multiple strokes on the rest of the card. Whew. Couple more tap-ins for par here. Or I shouldn't say tap-in. I kind of forgot that Jacob sailed over the top. He's got work left. Not the kind of par putt you want on such a short, easy hole, especially with wind.
A little branch hitting him in the head, too. But he's good at those comeback putts.
It's kind of a mark of a true professional disc golfer. Might miss the birdie, but they almost always make that comebacker.
Absolutely. On to hole 12. This is a fun, unique hole. You got the Mando on the early right side, and players want to get past this walking path to give themselves a look at birdie. You just put your sidearm shot to right here. You should have a circle 2 putt at it, but if you want to park the hole, I think the backhand flex shot or turnover is the best way to get close.
Yeah, it looks like a tough hole to park. The green is very well guarded with stuff almost in the bullseye, I want to say.
Yeah, I think Isaiah is just kind of not really trying to bite off too much off the tee. If he just gives himself a putt and a look at birdie, then that's okay. This is a line if you want to park it. Just a little short.
A little too much turn, but not bad. Actually, good little cut roll.
Yeah,
He might even have been going for that on purpose.
closest to the pin so far.
See if Jacob can bounce back after the bogey par start to this half of the round. A little too much turn. It's most likely another par coming his way.
Yeah, still about 80 feet short.
Yep. Nick just a little closer than Jacob, maybe 60 feet or so. Well, maybe a little less than that. Hopefully that's not too tricky of a comebacker there in the bushes.
Here's where Isaiah's drive landed up.
Just low. One birdie opportunity left on the card, and I think he's pretty close, yeah. Great birdie from Devin, taking a stroke on the card and getting a birdie on one of the tougher holes. There were only 3 on the day today. We just saw one from Devin, the other 2 from Michael Lane and Cody Kirkland.
Hole 13, par 3, 395 feet. You see the stakes on the left and right side of the fairway play as hazard, and then the hazard line bubbles out around the basket. So players are going to want to push it long, because if you fade out too early, left or right, then you could possibly land in that hazard area.
Oh, too low for Devin. At least it stayed safe, I guess, but he's obviously looking for more than that.
Yeah, possibly overthinking the wind. Pretty wide open hole, so it does play a factor on this one.
Nice wide hyzer from Isaiah. Hoping for a skip. And he gets it. Great shot. In the circle.
A little too much turn out of the hand. Stays in bounds, but he'll have a long putt for birdie.
Jacob, low flat, but it's fading, and that's in the hazard. So he'll play it from there with a 1-stroke penalty. Long look to save the par coming up for him. Devin in the circle for his par look. And here's Nick with a long look at a birdie. It's going to be a par for him as well.
This would be, since Jacob landed in the hazard, this is for his par.
Oh, just wide. You can't get it going on this back 12.
Yeah, kind of struggling after a solid start.
It's like we split the round into 2 videos, and he forgot how to play the way he was playing in the first half.
Yeah, if you want to see Jacob play well, check out the front 9.
or hopefully the remainder of this 12. We don't know.
Yeah, he's going to need to turn it around. Isaiah stringing together the birdies.
Yeah, getting 3 out of 4 so far on this back 12. 7 down after 13 holes now. Getting more than half of them. Devin with the par. And actually, there were only 2 birdies today on this hole, with Isaiah being one of them. The other one from Cole Medarata. My apologies if I said your last name incorrectly there, Cole, but great birdie.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising, but it probably is one of the longer holes out here at 395 par 3.
And windy today, too. I mean, you can see the grass moving there. That makes putting harder. I would imagine a lot of players probably had circle 2 looks, but it's hard to make big putts in the wind.
And another difficult hole, hole 14. You got a Mando on the right side, so you got to force up this left side fairway, 450-foot par 3, flying past the short position. So it's in the long here among the olive trees. Takes a unique shot shape to get over there.
Yeah, big distance and a somewhat guarded green. Tough one. Average 3.41. Nearly half a stroke over par.
Isaiah throwing a Proline Hurricane, but he doesn't get it to turn at all. Not where you want to be on this par 3. This looks better.
Yeah, great shot from Devin there. Still short, but it's a tough hole. I think you're happy with any look at a 2 on this.
Good line from Nick as well. Similar spot to Devin.
Faded right back to the middle. Perfect. Jacob's got the distance to make it if he can get the line right.
I think this is an Octane from Jacob.
I like it.
Alright.
Just fading a little too much at the end there, I think.
Yeah, a little more turn and that would have been real good.
Yep.
But should be a relatively easy up and down for par. But Isaiah's going to have to work for it.
Yeah, he's got a look. We'll see what he's contending with there as far as the bushes around the pin. Long birdie look here for Nick. You're happy with a par on this one. Yeah, Jacob just ended up short left, chipping it up and over the bushes. He's going to take a par, and here's Devin with a birdie look. Oh, just inches high. Got a little bit of meat left on the bone here for the par comebacker. Oh, no. This is left. Man, to go from almost getting the birdie on such a tough hole to taking a bogey, that hurts. And actually, there were 0 birdies on the day on this hole, so would have been extra cool if Devin or Nick could have made their putts. Not to be. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, I hate to see the birdogey. Onto hole 15, par 3, 299 feet. If you watched the Silicon Valley Classic, the basket was closer to where those people are walking out, but this position is tucked to the left. So it's going to take a backhand with a late fade to get close to it. So most of the players are going to go up over the trees on this one.
Oh, it just nicked a branch there. Probably going to end up short left because of that. Yep.
Yeah, it looked a little inside out of his hand. But there's a lot of wind out there now, so it's kind of hard to tell what it's going to do when you put it that high in the air. This looks good. Wider than Isaiah's.
A little too wide, but he might still have a longer look for birdie there.
Yeah, the story of the three bears is going to need it right in between that.
Let's see if Jacob can read the previous shots and make the correction and find that sweet spot. I like it. Yeah, it was headed in the right direction. Just hit one of the guardian trees. But I think he got the angle right. Devin's close, but that's going to be a tricky putt. Kind of seems to be a theme of this course. More open tee shots, but frequent tricky putting with well-guarded baskets.
Kind of interesting how Isaiah's always got the three putters in his hand.
If I had to guess, I'd say that's probably how he practice putts. So he wants it to just feel like he's practicing.
Yeah.
Wow, this looks rough from Devin. Yeah, he doesn't have much. Just chipping it out, conceding the par.
And Nick's going to have a similar lie, but a little better. A little straddle out.
Oh, yanked it. Buddy, come on.
Does not connect with metal.
Yeah, like he said, he yanked it. That's too bad. A little comebacker for par here for Jacob. Yep.
No birdies from our featured card on this one today.
Yep, looking like a round of pars. Ooh, snuck that one over the rim. And Devin with the par as well. And we'll be right back after a word from Silicon Valley Disc Golf Club.
Red shirt guy.
People from all over the Bay are joining up to Huck for the future.
I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part.
They're doing their part. Are you? Play. Volunteer. Join the Silicon Valley Disc Golf Club today. Membership guarantees fun.
Did you find anything yet?
We ain't found shit.
Thanks so much, Silicon Valley Disc Golf Club, for supporting Top World Disc Golf coverage in Bay Area disc golf. On to hole 16, 239 feet. Get the Clown's Mouth triple Mando early off the tee. So can't take the hyzer over the trees on this one. Players are going to need to go up the gut. Isaiah Oliver reaching for his pro line quake.
I have to ask, why did you call it a clown's mouth triple Mando?
I heard somebody, one of the locals, refer to it as that, but it's kind of got that funny circusy kind of feel. Got to throw it down the pipe, almost like a miniature golf hole.
Gotcha. Yeah, Nick is going to have a long look for birdie over there. Not too bad. Jacob's still looking for his first birdie of this back 12, which is crazy because he had plenty of them on the front nine. And that skedaddle's a little long, but he should have a birdie look from there. Let's see, maybe 20 feet or so. Yeah, actually maybe even closer than that.
Yeah, maybe that's just what he needs to get this part 2 birdie train going. Finish strong. Devin Rowell up next. A little low, but he gets a skip.
Nice. Putting for birdie.
Quick layup from Isaiah.
I feel like that was probably a bid. I'm surprised he went so quickly. But with where it ended up, and then the way he threw it, it looked more like a half go. Oh man, Devin's had a few of those that look great out of the hand. They just floated a little bit too high.
Oh, great putt through the trees. Nice gap there.
I love putts like that. I know other players have probably said it too, but sometimes I feel like it's easier when I have a specific little gap to aim for rather than like a putt in the wide open.
Yeah, I agree. Always fun to hit those.
There it is, Jacob. Hopefully he can start stringing them together now.
Yeah, onto another birdieable hole, hole 17, 281 feet. The basket is positioned in the shade of these oak trees, so just past the short position. Players are going to want to throw a sidearm mostly, maybe a mid-range to get the distance. It's not too far on this one. Or you'll see Nick here as a backhand player. He's opting for maybe a fairway driver to make sure he gets the low ceiling distance.
A little too much turn out of his hand there. It's going to put him maybe 50 feet short.
And Jacob reaching for his Raptor, which is kind of a lot of disc for this short hole.
Ooh, look out, catch cam. Yeah, like you said, a lot of disc for this hole. He is a little long. It's got maybe a 45-footer or so for birdie.
Yeah, pretty tough putt if you go long on this one. Isaiah reaching for a slower disc. Looks like his Quake.
Yeah, circle's edge right. Not a bad shot.
And Devin reaching for a Discraft Luna.
Well, Jacob went forehand and Devin did not go lefty backhand, so my theory didn't pan out.
Yeah, might have worked better. That was a little short with the putter.
Yeah. I guess I did say it more for those Spikeheiser forehand / lefty backhands than a low ceiling shot like this.
Yeah, see if you can connect from long range for the birdie.
Oh man, it looked so good. He's been just high on a few, and he overcorrected a little bit, just low on that one. Yeah, tricky putt here for Jacob. Oh, he's just laying up, and that wasn't even the best layup, but he should be fine for the par still. He looked confused.
Yeah, it just dropped. And Jacob saving par again. So no birdies for our featured card on this one. Just a bunch of pars. On to hole 18. This is another one that you're going to want to crash into the green to have the best look at birdie. Backhand or sidearm, just whatever you can throw to hit the top of these trees and kind of plinko down to the green. This looks pretty good from Nick. A little short.
Seems a little bit fluky coming down towards the end of the flight. You just kind of chuck something up there and cross your fingers.
Yeah, exactly. Probably throw a distance driver to make sure you have the sharpest rim to cut through the trees.
Yeah, especially if the 2-meter rule's in effect.
Huge wind lift from Jacob.
Yeah, that was weird.
And it hits a cart on the fairway of the next hole.
Oh no. Well, I guess better to hit a cart than a person.
Yeah, probably kept him from skipping into the woods maybe too.
Okay, well, good, I guess.
And this is a very unique line that I've never seen before. That's Isaiah throwing his squall on a turnover shot.
Interesting.
But he didn't really get it high and turned over enough, so that's also going to be on the left side of the fairway.
Devin getting some of that wind lift as well.
Yeah, similar to Jacob Blair's.
Actually, nicely framed up putt here for Jacob down the little walking path. That just leaves it a little short left. Yeah, real tricky green here. Very tough to access. Well, Nick gave it an honest bid, but ended up a little bit deep in the bushes there. And Devin pitching up. Yeah, no real good birdie looks from our feature card here, which is not surprising with this green. It's not the longest hole, but the hole averaged over par at 3.09. Oh no, Isaiah just high.
Yeah, weird kick off the basket too, and that'll be a bogey look for Isaiah. I think that'll be his first bogey on the round.
Yeah, he's been playing great. Still is playing great. Still a few more opportunities to bounce back from that bogey, assuming he can make his comebacker here. Yeah, that's not the easiest putt with the branches and his backswing and stuff, but he's good for it. That's pretty close. But yeah, like I was saying, pretty tough hole for the short distance. There were only 3 birdies today on this hole from Michael Lane, Emmanuel Torres, and Mike Sale. Couple of Mikes and a Manny.
Yeah, good group of guys.
Yep, 3 pars and a bogey from our feature card.
All right, just a couple more holes left. Hole 19, 328-foot par 3. This hole is kind of dealer's choice with the Spike Heiser backhand or sidearm. Or maybe even a grenade or tomahawk if you have it.
Good looking straight shot from Nick here.
Oh, and almost aces it.
Beautiful.
Lots of ace runs today.
I was going to say, for those of you who missed the front 9, there were a couple of very near aces. Go back and check that out.
Jacob throwing his quake. Doesn't quite get the flex on it. Oh, but still good. Just right at edge of circle 1.
Yep, not bad. Another disc coming in there at the same time that Devin was throwing. Did you see that?
Yeah, almost collided mid-flight. Didn't really get enough turn on that. It's faded out early.
Yeah, Isaiah not getting the turn on that. When he does make a mistake off the tee, that often seems to be it, that he throws flippy discs but doesn't quite get him to turn enough, and he ends up fading out left. Ooh, tickles chains from, I don't know, 90 feet or whatever he was. Good run.
Yeah, that would have been a bonus birdie.
Oh, Devin hitting the number plate. Man, Devin has been all over the basket this round.
Yeah, just fighting to get under par.
There's a birdie for Jacob.
Yeah, good catch. And Nick for birdie.
Yeah, Nick.
Good putt.
Nick, your drive went off.
Yeah, for those that didn't notice, Nick is also the tournament director for the Silicon Valley Classic. He presented the trophy to Andrew Miranda in our coverage of that.
Oh, cool. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's nice to recognize these volunteers and players putting on these events, and got to throw them on featured card.
I was going to say that's probably why he got his spot on this feature card. Well deserved. It's fun to see him play.
And on to hole 20, 415 feet. Pretty fun basket position over here on the left. Lots of stuff to get caught up on if you end up short and left. So players are going to want to go high up over the trees and then fade to the left. And there is that OB parking lot if you go too long. Looks a little low, but a little air bounce. Good shot.
Good looking line from Jacob. Man, I wish I could throw it that high and still get 415 feet. Tough to see where he ended up. We'll find out when he gets to his second shot. Maybe a little short left in the rough.
I think in part one I called this disc a Halo Destroyer, but I think it's actually a Halo Star Charger.
Okay.
And it's leaving it very wide. But it drops down, so he'll have about 100 feet to the basket from there. Good snap on it.
It's a little caught up in the last set of Guardian trees there, but circle's edge putt.
Yep.
Not bad. Devin giving it a bid. Really wants to get under par here toward the end of the round. Only one more hole to try to do that.
I remember in our coverage of the Silicon Valley Classic, Ezra Hapner made a really cool putt from here. See if Nick can do it as well.
Good bid. There it is, Jacob.
Thank you.
Nice putt.
Couple in a row. See, we're past the second set of 9. We got a fresh scorecard graphic at the bottom, so it's like a new round for Jacob, just like between the first 9 and the second 9. Now he can start birdieing again.
Yeah, and ties it up with Isaiah at -6, but now Isaiah's got this for birdie.
Yeah,
Yep. Couple of good birdies. This is a tricky hole. That's actually one I would expect would average over par, but it averaged exactly 3.0 at par with 5 birdies on the day. I would have expected less, honestly. 415 feet with this many guardian trees. Couple pars, couple birdies on our feature card here. Not bad. 1 hole left.
Yep, 1 hole left. Hole 21. 390-foot par 3. This is a different position than we saw in the Silicon Valley Classic, where it was much in a straighter position. Today, the basket is positioned on the hillside off to the left. So you do have that storage yard that would be OB if you go too straight. But most of our players have demonstrated they have that backhand
Guys, pleasure playing
hyzer
with you.
in their arsenal.
Yep.
So I'm
There's a lot of
sure that's what they'll opt for. Jacob really loving this red disc for those shots.
Yeah, it looks like great shot. The perfect amount of stability for a shot like this. It's a stable disc, but not an overstable disc. So he can release it high with a hyzer angle, and it flips up somewhat, but not completely to flat.
Yeah, exactly. Isaiah throwing his hyper cane for that shot.
Man, the kid has power. That was a higher, spikier line than Jacob, and he still got there.
Yeah, so much spin. Didn't get as much turn. So it's going to land a little short and left on the hillside.
Should still have a long birdie look from there, I think, but it's going to be tricky.
Yeah, tough footing up there. Devin's last chance to get under par.
It's going to be a tricky putt, but it's doable. I want to say he's right around circle's edge, but it's going to have to be a straddle. Here's Nick up on the hill. In the tall grass.
No.
What? You got to be kidding me.
Through the chains.
A spit through on a Mach X. How is that even possible? Let's take another look. Strong side. Spits through.
Pure robbery.
That's so unfortunate. I feel for you, Nick. It was a great putt.
Well, still a solid round at 4 down.
And there was Devin's last chance to get under par. At least he's not going to finish over par, I suppose.
And this is for Jacob to end with the turkey.
Yeah, buddy. Strong finish. Yeah, he just struggled a bit on that middle stretch. Played great at the beginning and great at the end. Isaiah, on the other hand, besides that one bogey, great round the whole time. Beats Jacob by 1 stroke. We'll see where that puts him on our leaderboard here in a moment. After Devin and Jacob clean up their pars. I mean, Devin and Nick. Here comes Nick. He was still hanging out up there, looking at his putt, wondering how the heck it spit through.
Spain without the S. What can you do?
Well, that's going to wrap it up for round 1 of the Mesmerize.
There it is, a fun featured card for the round 1 of our tournament. Like you said, Isaiah just edging out Jacob with that single bogey to finish 8 under par, Jacob at 7, Nick at -4, and Devin at even par. So those strokes really mattered because Jacob's going to end up on our chase card. For the lead card round 2 final round, we're going to have Mike Sale, Jacob Johnson, Emmanuel Torres, and Isaiah Oliver.
Cool. It'll be fun to see Isaiah again, and we actually switched out one Jacob for another. And yeah, with this being only a 2-round event, final round coming up. Excited to see how it plays out. Manuel Torres is always fun to watch as well.
Yeah, thanks for watching and thanks for your support. Be sure to like and subscribe the Top World Disc Golf channel on YouTube, and we'll see you at the next one.